We'll see major plagues breaking out in the world, as well as famines increase. These are things that are not pleasant to think about, but the Bible predicted this is what's going to happen.
Author and biblical interpreter Hal Lindsey first drew international attention with the publication of his book of prophecies, The Late Great Planet Earth.
And I think what the late great planet Earth did was make the non-religious person become aware that there was a definite pattern or scenario of predicted events.
Lindsey believes that the detonation of the first atomic bomb signaled the beginning of the end, as predicted in the book of Revelation. A real Armageddon could now be unleashed at the push of a button, and he believes that the button is in very shaky hands.
The prophets have indicated that we're going to see a thermonuclear war in the Middle East that will drag the whole world into it.
The Bible isn't the only source of apocalyptic prophecies. Impending worldwide disaster is also being predicted by scientists who see catastrophe in the stars.
All of the visible planets and the sun and the moon and the earth will all be in a straight line on May 5th in the year 2000.
Astronomers confirm that all 9 planets in our solar system will be aligned on May 5th, the year 2000. Richard Kinninger, a structural engineer, believes that this planetary alignment will create a gravitational pull so great the poles will shift.
It's not a tumbling of the entire planet, but a sliding of the crust relative to the core over the kind of semi-liquid magma that all the continents float on. The loss of life is going to be tremendous, with land sinking and rising and tsunami and great storms as a result of all of these things. Volcanoes will be going off that have been quiescent for thousands of years. About half of the population of the world will probably die during those 3 days.
Earth scientists reject Kinninger's alignment theory, but do agree that cataclysmic Earth changes can occur for other reasons.
It may very well be that we have periods of time when many volcanoes are active all at once. This could change the climatic situation on a global basis. Having a cluster of earthquakes simultaneously.
In anticipation of the apocalypse he sees coming on May 5th, 2000, Kinninger has established the community of Adelphi, where he and his followers plan for their own survival.
Our means of survival primarily is to use lighter-than aircraft to get off the surface of the planet while all of these major changes are occurring. And this is 14 stories high. It's about 300 yards across, and they could carry literally 1,000 passengers. We can have a whole fleet of them to use for commercial purposes until such time as we would need it for the airlift.
Lori Adele Toy's prophetic messages are strikingly similar to Kinninger's. Toy believes her visions of the end of the world were given to her by spiritual guides she calls the Ascendant Masters.
The prophecies start in the Pacific Northwest, where Washington and Oregon are underwater, leaving the Cascade Range of mountains as a series of small islands. The Sierra Madres become as a chain of islands, and the new seaport city of Phoenix is where the new coastline is.
Gordon Michael Scallion, who has accurately predicted many earthquakes and volcanic eruptions in the past, agrees with Toy's vision of the future.
The breaking up of the United States as to make islands in California and major earthquakes in Oregon and Washington and the Cascades and the eruption of Mount Rainier will occur before 97.
One geological explanation for the flooding of the coastlines is the increase in sea level, the rise in sea level, perhaps due to further melting of the glaciers and ice sheets, for example, on Antarctica and Greenland. So that's actually quite plausible.
The Mississippi and the Missouri rivers are now widened to almost 6 times to 8 times their size during this time of global warming, and also 2 years of continuous rains, which were prophesied as a result of the simultaneous explosion of volcanoes in the Pacific Rim.
Lori Adele Toy has created a future map of the Earth based on the visions she believes have been dictated to her by the Ascended Masters. Gordon Michael Scallion's prophetic future map of the Earth is almost identical to Toy's. Remarkable, because the two have never met or shared their ideas.
The year 2000, and it's going to come for everybody in the world at once. So therefore, it has to have a cosmic meaning, of course. In fact, of course, it's entirely arbitrary.
Not all cultures share the same calendar, but doomsday prophets insist we will all share the same fate. The word apocalypse comes from the Greek meaning to reveal what is hidden, and many prophets are warning that what is hidden is starting to bubble to the surface.
Before you start shopping for beachfront property in Colorado, keep this in mind. The last time the millennium changed, similar predictions of doom were rampant throughout Europe, causing widespread panic as the year 1000 approached.
When Sightings continues, a woman's dreams reunite her with children from a past life.
It was almost an obsessive need to find out what had happened to them.
In the last